I have made it an open declaration over this channel's history that a core ambition of mine, amongst many, is to put key focus on emerging artists. And this is true irrespective to artistic form, but with music specifically, I found this independent beauty that's come from those early introductions with emerging names. And I do try and be fair and cover a broad range of artists, whether it be on the evolving, up-and-coming side or well-established and well-recognized basis of recognizability. When you have an opportunity, though, to be introduced again on a first-name basis, on origin standing of a group or artist's evolution, and then to study their growth from that period, it creates this ride of elation that I've humored of other artists in the past, and I'm sure will be faithfully mimicked by Never Obey Again. I have no doubt of that. Even if I am just by a couple months a fan of their work. And some of you might remember if you took the journey with me earlier on, as I hope for with music that we experience it mutually. You know, it's, as I've said many times, been a long-standing ambition to highlight it as an artistic outlet here on the channel, outside of others, because it is the first love of my life, and I have a connection to music that doesn't exist with other artistic landscapes, not this deeply. And I do feel that it enriches the experience to enjoy music in a corporate manner. So if you've never welcomed the talents of Never Obey Again, and you were where I was several months ago, I forget the exact number, I'm looking forward for you having the opportunity of debut interaction with a very strong Italian modern metal talent. I've said many times, and as I'm sure many of you have witnessed in numerous coverage spotlights, you cannot go wrong with the European market, whether it be, let's be inclusive, rock or metal, or anything in that field. Though internationally, too, there's other countries to speak up to the same credits, but Europe, I continue to return back to this space. It is a particular hotspot of favorability for me, and Never Obey Again. Just in the early experiences I've had with them over 6 works thus far that we've consulted, up and coming the remaining 3. I did say 4 in the last video, but the first track was an instrumental introduction that follows closely to The Storm, so I have listened to it, it's pretty good, but I'm going to recognize the main 3 songs that we have not yet acknowledged for a full album spotlight, which I love doing, and Europe routinely commands this excursion for me, which used to be a seldom employ, and yet here we are. Anyway, it's becoming quite the mainstay here, but I feel this album just spoke to that. Again, on first interactions, I listened to the narratives of the pieces, and they're deeply cathartic, broad on application, but well-written, beautifully explored messages. But maybe you want to investigate the instrumental side as well. A real depth to their artistry, a good mixture of tone, a good balance as well within different types of rock tools, rock and metal. Sometimes maybe some occasional synth presences, a dominant depth to their music, fun rhythms, real grooves to these tunes. And some songs totally express quite an ambition, right? I think, for example, Toxic Feelings and Wake Up. Both of those so far are my favorites of the works that we've experienced. I keep returning to those tracks over and over. Maybe some of these will also share the same story, but again, not to overlook any other songs that I recognized here, because I've enjoyed everything I've witnessed with all of you, and I love that I have that honor of saying we enjoyed it collaboratively, perhaps, or we're going to have that experience today, and that you're approaching, and I welcome anybody, by the way. Familiarized fan to Never Obey Again, perhaps you took the journey with me on first introduction, or maybe some of you are just learning about the group. Welcome aboard. I hope you have fun with me in terms of exploring the last 3 tracks from the album that we have not yet entertained together. So, we're going to start initiating a return to the end of an era. I still love that name of the album, and the cover art is just great. It really, I think, embodies a lot of the tracks on narrative well. It's a good mimicry. We're going to start with Take Care of You. I'm going to go ahead and launch this, and if you've never been introduced, I would recommend you accustom yourself to the entirety of the album. The previous tracks will be to your liking for sure. And even if you're not necessarily into rock or metal, but you just want to explore good art and good music, I think Never Obey Again is really going to speak to you. And again, they are of such fresh standing, and I feel quite honored, as I do with any artist, to recognize here that I am sharing in the company of all of you and witnessing Never Obey Again's work for the first time, that we are taking that first interaction together. Again, I really feel there's a future to this group, and I cannot wait to follow up with them on future developments if ever offered, and I do hope there's more on the horizon for this group, because the end of an era has been a great launching origin. Let's complete our understanding of it with first Take Care of You, with the 2 other remaining tracks, those being Stronger and Underdog, very soon to follow. I'll probably have those posted the same day, but let's start here. Oh, hang on a second. All right, let me get this actually in line. There we go. I already like the... Oh, it's beautiful. Fun key cue. I like the medley here. Good mixture of notes. I like those higher pitch strikes though. Good raw lines. I like the dual layering on the vocals. And the beats and the percussion emphasis in this song really deliver. Oh man, I love when Carol's accent. It just becomes so clear on these tracks. You get that vibration. It's so nice. My favorite key choice in the album thus far. Really like the arrangement.
The venom on your tongue is reaching for my lungs. It's creeping down my spine. The feeling is unbearable. The silence is
Great traumatic lines.
never wanted to embrace the weakness, the decay of what you're able to. Tired of what you're doing. You know these days are numbered. Believe me when I say
I love the balance between light and depth. It's you get this airiness with the snares that come in a bit of a higher intonation, but then you get that deeper resonance with the voice. It's just a good match.
I know you're running from your demons. They take care of you.
Those choruses with the transitions in between the verses really work that to take care of your line. Paired with the music, it's just so welcoming.
With your hands around my neck, but I'll scream louder than the lies I am being fed with. I remember all the nights with your hands around my neck, but I'll scream louder than the lies I am being fed with. I remember all the nights with your hands around my neck.
This departure in the last measure and how it mimics the chorus, good fit. We're nearing the end of the song, so I'm curious to see if we'll never return to the chorus. I don't know yet. It could end on this, and I think it'll work. It's gonna end out here, okay.
With your hands around my neck, but I'll scream louder than the lies I am being fed with.
That's a great line too to wrap up. I mean, you talk about the tone of the song and where you want to take it from a direction of tragedy with such graphic terms. And again, it's written broadly. I've noticed this for the past couple of songs. There's different ways, and subjectively you can apply it depending on your life story and how tracks resonate, which I've loved that about music. Again, like I said, deep connection to it. It's been there for me in the many years that I've needed some sense of fellowship, right? Especially with rock music. I've stated that many times. Again, I think back to when I was a teenager and music was there for me in ways that people were not. So songs like this, I could see somebody in a similar disposition of life or an attitude in what the song expresses that would find an easy relation. I do too. Even if, again, like I said, it's expressed tragically in the way it originates. But there's an evolution with a number, especially on how it ends. I like the structuring, that they choose to end it on a mixture of tone with that uphill direction towards the end of each measure. But I'll get to the instrumental side in a minute. But key terms like the venom line or the knife line, songs like that, or the hands around the neck, good visuals. They just get to you. I love that pinpointed concentration and detail, though. It really aids the song in its build-up. The instrumental, though, is my favorite. I love the key pattern of that song. The mixtures on the chorus, the way the lines are structured, especially on the higher, the drifting, I think it's a drifting, let me see. It's in that line to take care of you. I think it drifts off. Maybe. Yeah. As I've said many times, I'm not a musician by trade. I'm a music connoisseur, and I'm operating off of 5 years from like intermediate piano from, way back. So you forgive me if maybe some keys in particular attribution to what they are, like on a keyboard, would fall out from my mind. But I love the way that it descends more again to a drearier tone, that To Take Care of You, it stays in that mainstay synth-infused balance, which is great, by the way. I love the work here. Good emphasis on the percussion and the bass, aided by the synths being of such bold prominence. Whether it be on the lighter tones or again on mimicking that momentum, it's a good fit for the song. But the way those chorus lines are structured, I love the key they went with here. It's perfect. Where's this flowing off of? What's track number? I think it's track number 4? Yes. So this is coming off of Toxic Feelings. Good evolution. Even from the numbers on narrative, it actually works quite well, but tonally it does have a sort of mimic, even though this is of an independent style. It carries on the familiar elements to where the album has gone thus far, but I just love the way this is organized. It's such a good song on construction. That tune is incredibly endearing on key choice, on energy. Those chorus sections just keep bringing me in. It's so good. It's going to be one of my favorites, I think, on instant replay. That's immediately how I want to enjoy it. And I'm sure for many of you, I don't like to be in habit of speaking for anybody, but I imagine there will be a similar concurrence down below if you do wish to disclose your perspective. And of course, your point of approach, long-standing fan or just first initiate. And again, I welcome both. I sure hope you were able to enjoy that song as much as I did. I think it is one of the more stellar ones on the album. And again, I've liked everything I've witnessed. There's a real strength to the end of an era, broadly speaking, but this particular song, I think is a great idea of different choices. And I'm trying to think if there's been other songs, maybe What If being the closest on key. Yeah. This one does feel slightly differentiated. I think it's my favorite arrangement, though, of the group. I do. I think the way the synths and the bass and the vocals are so great. As always from Carol, her inflections, the vibrato of her accent is just so nice. I love hearing it. But everything clicks. It's a wonderful number. With a good uphill swing, again, it is rested, I think, in a deep resonance on life, told in a broad manner, but explored beautifully. I really feel that this is going to be one of my favorite works on the album to date. Now, we have 2 more to judge, and I'll be fair to those and leave an open door. And I've liked everything, as I said. I don't want to overlook or override previous remarks to any songs that also were so deserving, but To Take Care of You is a stellar favorite from me. I absolutely love that work. Cannot wait to return to it as a song, and it's just so good. Thank you so much for watching this video. Before you bounce, feel free to drop a like and comment, subscribe to this channel with a ding on the bell, and share this video with your friends. And consider checking out the description here. There you'll find links to my other channels, as well as addresses to my other social media accounts and ways you can help support my work if you feel so inclined. May God bless you, and looking forward to when our paths cross again.